79, in an account to her son, Joseph III, Emma records that she went up to visit her sister who lived near there. And she said she just happened to visit Joseph. Now Joseph had gone to Isaac Hale and asked for his daughter's hand in marriage. And Isaac Hale said, "No, not in my house. You are a stranger, and you pursue an occupation I do not agree with." Joseph was a treasure digger. He was a stranger to the community, and he had a bad reputation. Therefore, Isaac turned him down flat. Well, therefore, in January of 1827, January the 18th to be exact, Emma goes to visit her sister. She visits Joseph, and Joseph Knight and all the Knight family put all the pressure, plus Josiah Stoll, put all the pressure you can imagine on Emma to marry Joseph. And Joseph, again, offered his proposal. And Emma says, preferring him to any other man, I married him. Makes it sound like, oh, well, you know, better than secondhand day old cheese or something. But she married him. Now, she downplays it, but you got to know that when Emma married Joseph, she was the first person to make a serious sacrifice for the kingdom of God. She knew that picking up the stick with Joseph's name on it would be to pick up both ends of that stick. She had to know what was coming because she'd already seen what Joseph had endured for the faith. He'd already been arrested in 1826 and put on trial and acquitted and then arrested and tried again the very next day. She had to know that by marrying Joseph that she was putting her life on the line. January the 18th, they eloped, got married, and then on the very same night, a humongous snowstorm hit the valley and snowed everyone in. As mad as Isaac Hale could be, there was no way he could come after them. When the snow melted off, Joseph and Emma went to Palmyra or Manchester and lived with Joseph's family for the rest of that season and farmed into 1827. We come now to the day of decision. Midnight, September 21st, 1827. Lucy Mack Smith is the only one that seems to be cognizant of the day. She is downstairs in the frame home, worried, anxious, pacing the floor and wringing her hands. Just about midnight, Joseph passed through and said to his mother, "Do you have a box?" And she knew instantly what he wanted and what it was for, and she said no, and she was so worried that, "Oh no, I don't have a box to put the plates in." Joseph said, "It'll be okay." And then she said a moment later, Emma came downstairs dressed in her riding clothes. They went out into the yard and they stole Josiah Stoll's horse and buggy. They stole it and took off for the hill. We have no account of what happened. It is assumed, because it was the culture of the day, that Joseph drove the car. And when they got to the hill, the accounts differ, but it seems most likely that Emma stayed at the bottom of the hill, held the horse, and Joseph went up on the hill and received the plates from Moroni. He comes down the hill, I don't know exactly where, and he buries the plates in a hollow log. He takes the Urim and Thummim and he returns to the house. And when he comes into the house, it is now at dawn. Joseph Sr., he's been at the hill for upwards of 6 hours. Now think about that. What happened? I don't know. We have no record. He gets back to the house. His dad is awake and insisting that Joseph Jr. join him for breakfast. And he seems not to have remembered what day it is. Josiah Stoll is there. And Mother Smith is the only one that remembers and knows where Joseph and Emma went. And she's trying to put her husband off and say, "Oh, just sit down and before you hurt yourself." know, he'll be along shortly, then he can join you for breakfast. Let him be with his wife.